Hello there, welcome back. In this video, we're talking about travel costs and how to get all of your tax write-offs for travel costs. So that includes when you're traveling somewhere for business or personal, and it includes business. So when I'm traveling on a trip, I like to use one credit card for all travel costs, right? That includes my airfare, my taxi, a bus, trains, rental car, hotel, Airbnb, everything, as well as all the food and coffee and everything I'm consuming during my trip. So I have my laptop bag, which is normally near me, and I just shove every single receipt into that location. I also try to make sure that I use one card so that I have the total. Or if I'm going to use two cards, just be aware of where the transactions are for business. I just want to add in here one more thing. I use my personal credit card for all my travel expenses, not the business card, because I got a better deal on miles and promotions with my personal card. And I know a lot of business owners have this situation. Because we're using the personal card, we are going to get a reimbursement for all these travel expenses. But if you know that your trip is 100% for business, which you'll know by the end of this video how to evaluate that, then you could just use a business card for all of the travel expenses. What I will say is use one or the other. Either do everything under your personal and then get a reimbursement, or do everything under your business because you know it all qualifies. This is not a requirement, it's just how I personally like to keep it more organized. Okay, so what qualifies as a business trip? So if I have to have a reason to be away from my tax home. So my tax home is 6,000 miles away and I'm in a different location. I'm in Salem, New Hampshire. So what's the business reason for this trip? And in my case, it's because me and a family member, one of my family members, are collaborating on a project related to my business. So we've created a book before. She's a graphic designer. And then I, of course, has expertise in this area. And so we've created a book. And so we are strategizing ways to repurpose that book and use it. And it's a lot easier for us to work in person. Now, part of this trip is also personal. She lives in Europe. And so we are both here in New Hampshire visiting other family members. But once you have your primary business reason, whatever days that you're working on that purpose or meeting with someone, you want to document all of this. And a convenient way that I do that is by tracking my time. So I use a time tracker to keep track of my work, which is really a good thing to do. It's good for planning, it's good for taxes, it's good for so many reasons, especially if you're an S Corp and you have reasonable compensation or material participation. It can be a really good thing to do. And then it's good for you to know how long things take in your business. Now we'll look at my spreadsheet template that keeps track of this. So you can see you enter the start date and the end date of your trip, and that's going to give you the total number of days. So this trip is 7/18/24 to 8/6/24. So that automatically calculates as 19 days. Now I need to put in the number of those days that were business related. So in this case, nearly every day on top of the days that I came here to meet with someone here, I did work because I don't know if you're like me, I work for myself and I end up working for an hour or two every day. And so as long as I did work during that day, it counts as a business day. So the only days I didn't work were on my 2 travel days and another day, the day after I got here. So I'm going to put in 16 business days, which means 3 days were personal. And then the location, whether it's domestic or international. And in this case, it's domestic. So even though I only worked 84% of the business days, my travel costs to the location are fully deductible. And this is true as long as we worked more than 50%. Now, if it went down to less than 50%, see 32%, if I change business days to 6, then we can't deduct our travel costs. We can still deduct travel costs for the days that were business related, like a hotel for a business purpose, etc. but we can't deduct travel costs to and from the location. Then we should put what our business purpose was. So in this case, it was meeting with CR, and then where our tax home is. So in this case, my tax home is in Hawaii and the location I'm in is in New Hampshire. So we qualify as being far enough away that we need to sleep and that we are away from our tax home. Now, what happens if you don't have a tax home? Let's say you're transient and you're constantly going places, then you can't deduct any travel costs because travel costs are your normal home costs. Now, there are standardized rules for deducting food costs. You can use a per diem rate instead of using your actual expenses. And there's a simplified method for tips and bell service type of tips of $5 a day. Honestly, I would ignore the per diem amounts. It's not worth it. I just keep track of everything on my card and I keep the receipts, and I'm not going to need to refer to the receipts again unless it's an issue. I'm just going to save all these under travel trip 2 for 2024. And I'm going to use my credit card statement to reimburse myself from the business. And then the business is going to record all of these travel expenses in detail in that record. So let's jump over and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so when it comes to doing a reimbursement for our travel expenses, I'm going to show you how we track this in our unique Google Sheet accounting spreadsheet templates, which are part of our Master Your Accounting and Taxes program. So this example is a personal template. So we said we used our Chase personal credit card. And so the way our template works is we have an entry worksheet for each bank account and each credit card or liability account. So this is our entry worksheet for our Chase credit card, and it lists every single transaction we had. And for each transaction that needs to be reimbursed, we're going to select to be reimbursed. Then when we're ready to do the reimbursement, which we should do about monthly, we're going to come in and select these transactions, the date, the description, the account to be reimbursed, and the amount. And we're going to come over here into our business spreadsheet template. It works the same way. And on our business reimbursement worksheet, we're going to go ahead and paste in all these transactions that need to be reimbursed. Now we're going to look at what the total amount is. So we'll use a basic SUMIFS formula, and you can see it's $459.44. So we're going to go ahead and do a reimbursement, and we're going to track the details for this reimbursement over here. So the reimbursement amount was $459.44, and we're going to pay that on the current date. And then we're going to put what account we're paying it out of. So in this case, checking. So after we put this amount through as a transfer, this one amount is going to come out of our business checking account. So here we can see it, one line item for negative $459.44. But what we want to do is we're going to record this as a split transaction. We're going to break that $459.44 out into all of these actual expenses here, because we're going to take that $459 to ourselves as the owner, and then the business is going to deduct all these travel expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and say split $459.44 in the memo column, and we can add owner reimbursement and then copy this for all of these transactions. We're then going to remove this to be reimbursed account, and we're going to choose whatever account makes the most sense. And we really want two accounts for travel. We can have our main travel account for costs like airfare and all of your travel expenses. And then we can have for food and meals, travel meals. We're only going to get to deduct half of those, but we'll track the total costs under our accounting record. And then that's a limitation that will apply on our tax return. If we have any regular business expenses during the trip, then we would just put whatever relevant business expense that is. Okay, once you finish selecting all of your accounts, we're going to copy all of these details here for these transactions. And when we find this line item coming out of our bank account, the transaction for that bank transfer, we're going to replace that line with our split transaction. And this is going to allow all the accounts we selected here to go ahead and get totaled up on our income statement report here for income and expenses by month, as well as any other relevant reports if we use any of our extra columns to do other categorization, such as company paid or Okay, thanks so much for watching. It was a pleasure. I hope you enjoy your business travel and getting all the write-offs you deserve for that business travel. I'm going to finish out the rest of my trip here. I will see you next time. Bye. If you're looking to get my help with your accounting, if you have questions, check out my Master Your Accounting and Taxes program. I teach you how to use spreadsheet templates to track everything you need for your business and personal, if you want, accounting records. This includes calculating if the S corporation will save you taxes or not, and how to set it all up and take care of it in your records. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear if you have questions down in the comments below this video. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you're interested in tracking your accounting, your business finances with our spreadsheets and our unique spreadsheet template library for taxes, check out the links to my Master Your Accounting and Taxes program. We have free workshops and free worksheets. And also you can get my travel log worksheet for a limited time for a very low price. So check that out if you want to keep that for your records. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.